Hey, man, obviously Alabama's playing on a different level, it kind of seems, this year. Hitting a lot of threes. Petty's been fantastic. I guess, what's just your general overall thoughts on what you guys are walking into tomorrow?
Well, they're the best team in our league, for sure, as you look at it right now. They've got some great road wins. They demolished LSU and winning at Tennessee, winning at Kentucky. They're playing great basketball, and I'm not surprised. I thought they were really good this year going in just because of having Herb Jones and Petty as seniors. Anytime you have high-quality players that are seniors in your program, and you can see both their games have taken it to a whole new level from where they were a year ago. And then, Shackelford's a year older. I think Quinterly's been a great addition. I mean, obviously they lost Kyra Lewis. But they all shoot it so well. Primo, who starts for him, a freshman out of Canada, is a very good shooter that really shoots the ball well. And they're playing good defense. I mean, their field goal percentage defense is among the best in our league. And so they're playing both sides of the ball very well.
Let's go ahead and go to Paul Jones next. Paul?
Coach, obviously I know some of it has to do with DJ and Iverson kind of being in shooting slumps lately, but not that you would give away game plans or anything, but any thoughts about trying to boost the offense or change things around, or it's just a matter of those guys, breaking through their slumps?
I don't know if it's a slump. Like in the last game, I thought we took some really quick. We watched the whole game yesterday before we practiced, and I really wanted our guys to see just how bad we were at both ends of the floor. And offensively, there was just a lot of one-on-one play versus playing as a team. We weren't setting physical screens. We didn't do anything with any kind of physicality or toughness at either end of the floor against Ole Miss. And we have to get back to that to be good. We got to get the ball inside more and play inside out, which we weren't doing at all. And so, just executing better what we do is really the main thing, Paul.
Paul, go ahead with your follow-up.
The other night, JD got to play for the first time, I think, in 4 games. You talked about his conditioning. How did you feel like he was able to go in those spurts that he played as far as his conditioning?
I think his conditioning was okay. And, we had a practice yesterday where we got up and down quite a bit, and I thought he did a better job. And, when you miss 2 weeks of being out there and practicing and running up and down, it's never easy, and especially for one of your bigs. So I think he's made a pretty quick recovery, and when he was out, he didn't put on any weight. In fact, he lost a little weight, which was good.
We'll swing it over to Garrett. Garrett, go ahead.
Ben, how challenging is it from a defensive perspective to play a team like Alabama that just moves as fast-paced as they do? I think on Ken Palm, they're near the top in the league and using the fewest amount of time on the shot clock before getting off possession. Obviously, they've been so effective. What kind of challenges does that kind of bring?
Yeah, those are very big challenges, but I think really one of the toughest ones is just how you match up with them, because Herb Jones starts as the power forward defensively, but yet he's their point guard offensively in their starting lineup. And so, he's a very difficult matchup because of his versatility. He can guard 1 through 5, and yet he plays the point on offense where he has the ball all the time. And I think that makes him a very difficult guard, for anybody to match up with.
We'll head up to Columbus and John Sokoloff on the TV side. John, go ahead.
Ben, you mentioned a little earlier about, you guys watched the game and you were talking about the one-on-ones and that type of stuff. But, how receptive were your guys in terms of, what you guys are looking to fix offensively? And were there any kind of habits from the film that you watched that were concerning to you that your guys get into offensively? Do you think it's a relatively easy fix?
Well, I think our guys are very receptive. We had a good practice yesterday, and that's what I was looking for. Anytime you play as poorly as we did against our rival, and watching the film, I mean, everybody could see it. Our guys are smart, but they could actually see, the slippage, and so we had a very spirited, hard-fought, very competitive, physical practice yesterday, and we need to have another one again today. And a big part of it is just having better execution and really playing with a sense of urgency in every possession.
And you mentioned, obviously, Alabama, all the success they've had this year. Not only have they won every conference game they played in, but their last 3 games, they blow teams out. For your team specifically, what issues do you think you guys might run into matchup-wise based on how you match up with them?
Well, kind of what I pointed out, anytime Herb Jones is just a very difficult matchup for everybody in our league because he plays the point offensively, but he's really a power forward. So he's a hard matchup for your power forwards, because he handles the ball like a point guard, and really is a good driver penetrator. And then when he gets into switches, where they try to get you in a switch where he's being guarded by a 1 or a 2, then he's just backing them down and going right into the post and spinning off of them. So, those are the biggest issues in terms of the matchups that, are concerning. They all shoot it, so, you've got everybody who's out there on the floor. Reese isn't shooting a great percentage this year, but for example, Petty's shooting 56 or 57% from 3 in conference games. That's good.
We've got time for a few more. We'll go to Tyler Workgut. Tyler?
Hey, Ben, kind of going back to what John asked about the film session. I'm just curious if anything felt different as you guys were watching it about that film session compared to others. Obviously, you've talked a lot about how important it was to watch that game and watch it all the way through. So just kind of take us through what it was like watching that with you guys.
Well, of all the games we've had this year, that's the one game where we really got, it taken to us. And so that was different than any other film sessions. I'd say that's the biggest thing.
And then you talked about that practice a lot. What was kind of you talked about offense and trying to...
Well, I talk about even like blockouts. Like our blockouts in the game against Ole Miss were despicable. We weren't blocking out anybody. As a team, it was horrible. So, the first drill of the day was just we did blockouts for 15 minutes to give you an idea. That's just like basic fundamentals. You got to block out. And we gave up 6 offensive rebounds in the first half, and I think 4 or 5 of them led to baskets or foul shots.
Obviously, it's important to work on that stuff and you start to practice with it, but do you feel like it was just one of those days where it's just kind of a lapse and it wasn't there, and then maybe, who knows, tomorrow you guys show up at Alabama and you guys are blocking out better than you've seen all year?
We'll block out better tomorrow. A lot of it is, this team being, we're going through things for the first time. And like, someone brought up, I think it was Paul earlier, talking about DJ and Iverson. Well, after the first 4 or 5 games, all of a sudden now they become, media sensations within the SEC network. And they got big bullseyes on their chest now. So now they're getting everybody's best effort coming at them every single night. And, that's something that wasn't necessarily there to start our season as it is now. And, so that's good. That's going to make them better in the long run.